Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code ONEFREEPP for a free single card today.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Sunday, October the 13th. It's race number 8 at Keeneland, the Grade 2 Franklin Stakes. Fillies and mares going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. Before we take a look at the field, remember DRFTV viewers have a chance to get 10% off all DRF past performances. Shop now by accessing that QR code and use the coupon code DRFTV10. Here's the field for the Grade 2 Franklin. There are some nice filly and mare sprinters in this race. Roses for Deborah, Future Is Now, Don't Look Back at All. They've done some good things in their career, but Star of Mystery is the deserving 3-2 morning line favorite after she beat the boys in the quick call at Saratoga and did so impressively.
Yeah, really fast time, really good-looking win that day. She also, listen, her first stateside start then came in the Grade 1 Jaipur against the boys, including Cogburn, in a wicked fast race, and she ran huge in there with a trip.
She certainly did. She has a strong late kick, but it's not like she's a typical European that's slow from the gate. She's actually pretty handy from the gate. She just relaxes very well, lets the others go, and kicks late. We'll see if she has the pace she needs as we throw up the Timeform US pace projector. And Future Is Now, the 5, is a very fast horse. She doesn't necessarily need the lead, so if Accomplished Girl wants to go and take it from her, she'll be very comfortable sitting second. But Future Is Now will be right in the thick of things when they turn for home.
It's one of the really good things about Future Is Now. It felt like she used to be a little bit more of a speed horse who wanted to lead. It's not the case anymore, Dan. Her recent form is excellent. And listen, she's just going really, really well right now. And I think she's a major, major player in here.
Star of Mystery is the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. Mike mentioned her race in the Jaipur. She ran very well when she was sort of bounced around in tight and upper stretch. Just consider she was a 3-year-old filly taking on the older boys, including the best turf sprinter in the country, Cogburn. They ran her against the boys in the Grade 3 quick call, but at least this race was restricted to 3-year-olds, and she runs right over the top. And I had a feeling that Bill Mott had Mansa Musa really primed for a good effort.
Yeah, he certainly did. And Mansa Musa really ran in here, but just no match for just a really, really talented filly, Dan. I mean, she was very impressive in there. The race came back really fast. And as you've already pointed out, I think that was sort of the key, what you pointed out there. She's pretty good from the gate. She just happens to sort of rate early and then kick on late. We'll see if she gets the right kind of a trip in here. But it feels like she's pretty hard to go. This is a good field, man, but she's hard to go against based on what we've seen in her last 2 starts.
Pandora's Gift's the rare European that's really an all-weather specialist. She's run okay on turf over there, earned a Group 3 placing at 3/4 2 starts back. She ran well in her North American debut over the Tapeta surface at Presque Isle Downs, falling shy to Roses for Deborah. I still think she has some upside potential. I also wonder if she's better on the synth.
Yeah, not sure that I really want her in this spot, switching back to the turf here. But you can sort of keep an open mind about her for sure and give her some chances on turf down the line. I don't think this is the right spot, though. Ran fine last time. Roses for Deborah sort of got that rail run on her and closed her down at the end. But I didn't see a real excuse for this filly.
While Roses for Deborah is good on synth and good on turf, I think she's a little bit better on the lawn. She did get the win in the Grade 2 Presque Isle Masters last time out, but you mentioned she did get a very good trip that day. She's earned some good figures this year, including that race at Keeneland, the Giants Causeway, and it's always nice for me to see a horse with good form over this turf course. Some horses just don't handle it. But I do wonder if the Roses for Deborah that we saw at Saratoga is the same one that was wowing us in 2023.
Yeah, I don't think that it is, but I guess we'll find out, because you're right to point out that she did run a really fast race here early in the year, and that could just be key for her, Dan. But listen, she just missed in the Intercontinental in her second start of the year, but she had no excuse that day. And to me, Future Is Now just ran better than she did. I don't know what her excuse was for the Smart and Fancy off the little layoff 2 starts back, but she was not good in that race. And while she got the job done last time, it was hardly a compelling performance, and it wasn't a fast race on a different surface. I don't know, man. She's totally lost me. I don't think she's as good this year as she was last year.
The 4 Accomplished Girl won the 2022 edition of the Masters over the Tapeta, but she aired on turf last time out. Let's watch that race at Kentucky Downs, going 6.5 furlongs. She went right to the lead, and she just keeps on going. Never threatened as the favorite. Now, Kentucky Downs, some horses love it and some horses don't. And I'm going to guess a 5.5 furlong event at Keeneland. You can't get much different than 6.5 at Kentucky Downs. So we'll see if she shows that kind of speed here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does, because, the fact that this race is at Kentucky Downs is, a little bit of a turnoff. The flip side of that is it's not like she hasn't run well sprinting on turf in the past. And there's a fast race going 5 furlongs very early in her career down at Gulfstream Park. So I don't know, man. She's got a lot of speed. I think she can handle this shorter distance. She comes off of maybe a career best effort. There's things to like about this horse at 20-1.
Future is Now is a hard knocker trained by Michael Trombetta, and Tromby's just done a good job getting her race to race, and usually with a big performance. She outgamed Roses for Deborah to win the Intercontinental 3 starts back, then just missed in the Caress after doing a lot of work. And in her most recent race, this event, the Smart and Fancy, Paco Lopez got right up close to the pace with her, and Future is Now is very, very game. She's banging off this horse on the outside. She refuses to lose.
Yeah, this horse came with a full head of steam, a Godolphin runner there. They did come together at the top of the stretch, and this horse actually, Future is Now, got headed in the stretch here, but she fights back, and she's much the best in this. That's Roses for Deborah, sort of not doing anything back in third here to come pick these horses up. I don't know, Dan. I mean, it's not going to be easy for her to beat Star of Mystery in this race, but this filly's in really good form right now, and I don't think I'd be letting her beat me in any multi-race wagers.
When going over this race, I thought there were 2 horses at a price that are better than they look on paper, and I think one of them is the 6, Don't Look Back at All, who capped off a hat trick when winning the Caress 2 starts back, and she traveled so comfortably on the turn and into the stretch. She was just under a long hold. She won by a neck, but I think she really won a lot easier than the margin of victory. And then they ran her at Kentucky Downs last time out. And I think all that does against a horse like Ag Bullet, who obviously loved the course and wired the field, is dirty up her form. I think she's the Clement you might want to consider at a price.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that at all, because I would much rather have this horse than Roses for Deborah in this race. For all the reasons that you mentioned, she's just come back in really good form this year, and you're not supposed to hold this race against her, where, by the way, she runs fine and is clearly second best to a runaway on the lead. The only thing that I would point out, Dan, is that when she won the Caress 2 starts back, she got a perfect trip in there. And for Future is Now, who wound up settling for third, ran a very underrated race. Like, they just taken pressure on the lead the entire way and only giving in very, very late in that race.
Frost at Dawn, the number 7's another European raider. This horse won a group stakes race at Dubai, going 5/8 of a mile during the spring, and enters off a stakes placing overseas in England, going 5.5. I'm not sure about the overall quality of competition she faced last time. They ran her in a Group 1 2-back, 3-back, and she was over her head.
I mean, that's all true. We'll see what we get here. I found it hard to get behind her in here. It's obviously, very, very interesting that she did beat Star of Mystery earlier in the year over there, but they came back in a Group 1. It feels like maybe that was a little bit of a prep. They came back in the Group 1, and this horse was nowhere.
Awesome Treat is up next, and she's going to be a big price on the tote. She's done well at Keeneland in the past. She runs well on synth. She's run well on turf. Didn't run well at Kentucky Downs last time out at a giant price, but her prior effort, she pulled off a $52 upset at Ellis Park, and I guess she's tactical enough that she could work out a trip.
Yeah, that's true. She's a big price in here. It's hard to sort of zero in on that one race that really gives her a chance. It just, more than anything else, Dan, this is a really, really tough spot for a mare like her. They don't run her on turf that often. She handles it really well when they do run her on it, but this is not an easy race for her.
I think Elm Drive is the other horse that on paper looks better than she appears. Her last race was a Kentucky Downs, the Ag Bullet race. She didn't fire at all, but her prior start at Del Mar off a short layoff was a good performance, finishing second. She's the kind of mare that's also very tactical, can work out a trip, and she's run well at Keeneland in the past. At 15-1, I'd use her in the exotics at the very least.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this horse too. Another one, right? I really respect her, and I do think she can get the right trip in this race. I wonder if this is really the right race for her, because there's a lot of competition in here, Dan. But I'm a fan of hers, and she's a great price on the morning line.
Kairu ran at Kentucky Downs last time out. It wasn't her best performance, but I thought she ran well in the Coronation Cup 2 starts back. It was a race where she split horses and had to bull her way out, turning for home, and she ran on very well to be second. She was entered in a stake in New York earlier in the week. I really thought that was the spot for her. Cherie DeVoe is going to test her against this tougher group.
This is tougher too. I'm kind of surprised this is the spot they picked for her, but you're right. I mean, her Coronation Cup was really good too, back having to sort of push her way through traffic. I felt like she had a similar kind of trip in the Soaring Softly when Pipsy beat her. She had to sort of force her way through traffic in that race and was really game. I hated the ride that she got from Jose Ortiz last time, and I think it really cost her at the end, and I think she ran way better than it looks.
Pipsy has run well both times sprinting in North America. She won the Soaring Softly over Kairu in her North American debut. They tried to stretch her out to a mile. It just didn't work out. Consider that she won the Soaring Softly after completely missing the break and rallying from left field. And then
Yeah.
she runs in this race, the Music City, and she shows her natural speed. She went to the top in here, set a legitimate opening quarter of 22 and change, and she's very game to run second.
Yeah, she runs well in here. The 6.5 obviously plays long too. And this pace wasn't slow. I thought she ran well in this race. The mile, 2 starts back, is probably too far anyway, but she just went way too fast on the lead in that spot. And you're supposed to forgive her for it. For Soaring Softly was a serious performance, as you put out. Totally blew the start in there and came flying.
Bling is the number 12 jockey. Louis Saez's second call. His first call's on the also eligible list. Even performance at Kentucky Downs. Part of that blanket finish, 2 starts back at Ellis Park. I'm starting to question the overall quality of that race.
Me too. She just hasn't. She's another one in here. She's got a race or two that you can point to that suggests maybe you can throw her in there somewhere at a big price, but it's just a really tough spot for her, and she's got a really tough post.
4 horses on the also eligible list. If I had to take one, it would be Saez's first call, the 16 Twirling Queen, but it just seems unlikely that she's going to get in.
I can't argue with that, Dan. I don't see her getting into this field, but her recent form's good.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for the Franklin Stakes. It's our Sunday race of the day. And Star of Mystery, if she just does what she's done in her first 2 starts in North America, she's going to be really tough. I guess with her running style, she needs a little bit of a trip.
Yeah, we'll see. I couldn't talk myself into going against her, Dan. Her two races over here are just too good to me. I'm not going to bet against her in this race. If I did, it would be with either the 10 or the 11.
I was going to try to get Don't Look Back at All or Elm Drive into the number, hopefully at decent prices. 1692 for me, 110.11.5 for Mike. We'll see if Star of Mystery can pull off another big buyer speed figure effort, this time at Keeneland in the Franklin. Hey buddy, you look like you're in need of a winner, and just remember, if you like and subscribe right over here, you can get all of the great content on DRF.com, including Race of the Day, stakes previews, and lots more, featuring me and my superb selections. Trust me, you're not going to regret it.